I'm Steve Gruber. Glad to have you here today. I'm your soldier of truth. Tip of the spear against all liars, foreign and domestic. Here to tell you that we're fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom. And thank you for being here on a free-for-all Friday on the Steve Gruber Show. Here are three big things you need to know to start your day today. Number one, despite Ford Motor Company halting construction at the very controversial Blue Oval battery plant, Michigan tossing $65 million more at it. Seems more like a really pricey lottery ticket. Number two, the government could face a partial shutdown very soon now as the clock is running out on reaching a deal because the U.S. Senate seems determined to send money to Ukraine and not secure our southern border. It's going to be a problem. Number three, the fur was flying on Capitol Hill as the first hearing into an impeachment inquiry for Joe Biden got underway on Thursday. It is so predictable, isn't it? One side gives speeches and then the other side pontificates and they point fingers back and forth. They both slam each other and nothing gets done. I mean, in the end, we really didn't learn anything either. I mean, they talked about the Biden family raking in $20 million or more without any explanation of what that money was for or what was done to earn the money, but we already knew that. So are you as sick and tired of the same old dog and pony show over and over again on Capitol Hill as I am? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice that the people that ran to be members of the House and Senate actually meant it when they swore an oath to uphold the Constitution? Wouldn't that be refreshing? Wouldn't it be nice if these people actually put the country and the people like you and me above petty party politics and trying to score meaningless political points so they can win the daily battle on social media? It would be nice if there was a modicum of integrity, just a modicum of integrity, to be found inside the Beltway once in a while. It would be nice if they would actually focus on asking real questions, letting the person asked to answer the question and see if we can actually learn something. I mean, wouldn't you want to know if the president was taking millions of dollars so he could provide influence to various governments or groups? And wouldn't you like to know that regardless of political party? I mean, if somebody is dirty, I'd want to know that. And I would want to know it no matter what party they represent. And having said that, I don't think anything about getting bribes or peddling influence have any relationship to the intentional targeting of President Donald Trump for committing political speech in America. These two things are very different. But of course, that came up over and over again on Thursday from the Democrats because they don't want to talk about what Joe Biden may or may not have done, or Hunter Biden, or who he's tied to, or how the money flowed, or how those millions of dollars are basically indefensible. They just want to attack Donald Trump because that way they can distract from what's actually happening. Again, it was sadly predictable, exactly what we've all come to expect. A raucous circus that arrives at no conclusions. Americans generally tune out, and we, the people, we are the real losers. And frankly, we deserve better from the people in Washington on all sides. And here's the dirty little secret that's no secret at all. None of this matters. It's not going anywhere. That's right, Joe Biden could get impeached at some point. It'll take months. It will be a year from now, or close before we ever get to that point. But even if that happens, he will never get removed because that takes a supermajority of 67 Senate votes. And unless there's some kind of massive sea change or there's a mind-blowing pile of evidence that shows up, the Democrats will never vote to remove Joe Biden from the Oval Office. Never. Which is a bit strange. I mean, Joe getting impeached and removed would likely be the best thing that could happen to the Democrats right now because it would solve the big political problem they have of Joe Biden running for re-election with the lowest polling numbers of any incumbent president ever. And it would be enough to excuse him from office and an excuse to flush Kamala too. Just tie Joe Biden around her neck, throw them both overboard, and be done with it. But it's not going to happen. And no matter what goes down, Joe Biden's not getting removed from office by way of impeachment. There won't be 67 votes if the Senate is removed. He may have a medical emergency, a mental emergency, or a bathroom emergency, all of which could end up with him not returning. But short of that, right now, Democrats are going to have to live with him as their guy in 2024. Anyway, how about some highlights from the big impeachment palooza in D.C.? We start with South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace. She gets fired up, smashing her Democrat colleagues for lying about, well, everything. Here she is.
I don't want to hear another word from the left or anyone across the other side of the aisle about impeachment inquiry. This is complete and total hypocrisy this morning. Today, we're going to bring the facts. Today, we are going to bring the evidence. In 2017, the Joe Biden family teamed up with Chinese company CEFC to make millions off of granting access to Joe Biden. Hunter even arranged for Joe Biden to share office space with the CCP-aligned company CEFC. My Democrat colleagues say none of this is relevant because Joe Biden wasn't vice president while his family did these shady deals. Turns out that's complete and total bullshit. It's a lie. Hunter Biden referred to access to his father as the keys to his family's only asset. Those words are going to come back and haunt Hunter Biden and his family forever.
Forever. She's right about that. Complete and total BS. Congressman William Timmons of South Carolina, one of her colleagues there from the Palmetto State, explained the Biden scheme in a very simple way. Because it is very simple. And look, it is the product for sale in Washington every day. Influence peddling. Here's what he said.
But the plan is simple and repeated often. A foreign client has a problem. The foreign client pays a Biden. The vice president leverages influence to force favorable outcomes for the client. The Biden family earns their fee. That's the scheme. We've seen it played over and over.
We've seen it played over and over. That's the scheme. You hire a Biden, you get your problem solved, you get the influence you need, you get access to the people you need to talk to. Very simple stuff. Very simple setup here. Congressman Byron Donalds, who long ago became one of my favorites, smokes the whole idea that there is no evidence. You had a forensic person there looking at the numbers, a forensic accountant on the witness stand yesterday for the hearing. Here's part of the exchange between Congressman Byron Donalds and that forensic accountant saying, look, here's how the place is set up. How does this work? Look.
Mr. Dubinsky, do you think it's in the interest of this committee that is now in an inquiry phase to actually find out all of the flow of money between these entities and what the purpose was?
Absolutely.
Next slide, please. For my colleagues on the other side, we're going to start talking evidence now. This is now a slide of the organizational chart of the Hunter Biden business companies and with associates from 2018. From the same IRS investigators who were broke down the business structure in 2014. Does this slide cause you the same concern, Mr. Dubinsky?
Yes, it does.
Of course it does. Again, it's a very simple scheme. You have a problem. You're a company. You're a country. You have a problem. You need a Biden to weigh in on that problem. You go to the doorman. It's like you do the secret knock, and Hunter answers. He slides the little thing open. He closes it back up. Yeah, come on in. Yeah. Sit here. I'll get the big guy on the phone. And that's how it was played out over and over again. Is it impeachable? It is if Joe Biden was getting money out of the deal and lying about it, because that money continued to flow up to the time he was elected president. So it flowed during the time he was running for president. Do you think that the spigot just turned off while he was running for president? I'm guessing that spigot might have gotten increased. That's what I'm going to say. The money might have increased with the influence peddling leading up to the time that Joe Biden became president of the United States, and might have continued afterwards. We don't know. That's why you need the inquiry. We'll talk more about that as we continue here on this Free for All Friday.